If you are feeling weird or if something is feeling off, go to the doctors. Like, I would hate to be like 7 or 8 years down the line and they're like, yeah, you're pretty much cooked. The sad part is I didn't get to have a farewell tour to gluten. I wanted to do like a farewell tour.
What would have been on the tour?
Oh, freshly glazed donut from Looney. Because I used to get it every Saturday.
This is a ton of changes. This is such a net positive. It's unreal.
Nastiest drink I've ever had to drink. It's like warm salt water, but they fill it with electrolytes. One day, I'm like, ugh. My throat starts like closing up. No lie. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I'm like, well, shit, I'll be dead by then if I keep waiting.
March, and they told you September?
Yes.
What the heck?
I was eating gluten, and it was stopping my body from absorbing the iron and the nutrients. I also found out I get into national parks for free.
What in the world? You're definitely going to be laughing. That's for sure. Well, I'm going to lose this monitor. There's no doubt about that. Well, I sent you the outline, so I mean, you know what we're going over, right?
Yeah. It's just, how do I prep? I did not prep for this.
What would you have done if you could have prepped? What would you have wanted to do?
Think of how I'm going to answer the questions.
This ain't a test.
I know.
You're telling a story that you lived. It's in there.
I know, but it's like...
If you think about it prior, like, you just... I don't think it would make things better.
It probably wouldn't.
Yeah, because you'd be like, oh, this is what I said when I thought about it. I'm not saying that now. You know, that wouldn't make any sense.
It probably wouldn't make it any better.
Probably would not.
I'm just scared.
You don't need to be.
Why?
But per usual, we do sponsor Liquid Death around here. And Mahi has already cracked hers open.
I opened mine already.
She was so excited about that Liquid Death.
It's actually pretty good, though.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. I say it all the time, but it's smooth.
Yeah, it actually is. I've been drinking that Essentia alkaline water. It's probably not doing anything.
Well, you know, alkalinity is interesting. You know, that's one of those mechanisms that's very tightly regulated.
Yeah.
So it's hard to influence it because it's so important that it just doesn't move around that much. You know, your body knows what it's doing.
Exactly. So I probably should just drink regular water.
I don't know. Who knows? It could be doing something long term, but
they told me to drink it for acid reflux. It's probably not helping.
I have no idea. I have no comment on that. Mahi, when were you born again?
July 26th, 94.
94, July 26th, 94. That's like a month after I graduated high school.
Damn.
What's up with that?
I'm coming up on 31.
You're going to be 31?
Yeah. 30 hit me
this
hard.
month?
Yeah.
Was 30 hard for you mentally?
Yeah.
What about it?
Physically. Just all of the things that was going on health-wise.
Yeah, you were dealing with the celiac at that time, right?
Yeah.
When did you when did you figure it out? When was that? How long ago?
Well, everything started happening the month of July.
Oh, really? So it's been about a year.
Almost a year, yeah.
All right, let's not
get
ahead.
Now.
We'll get into that. Episode 39, Mahi Alston in here. We're going to be talking about celiac. Interestingly enough, you know, celiac disease. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a disease. I didn't know that it was an actual disease. I thought that because people have gluten intolerance, and you know that can give you a little brain fog. It can mess up your digestion, whatever. You get a gluten intolerance, no big deal. And I just thought like celiac was just an extension of that.
Yeah.
Higher up on the spectrum or whatever, farther along on the spectrum. But it's actually into a disease state, right? An autoimmune. I had no idea.
It's a legit thing.
It is a legit thing. Yeah. And I thought, well, you know, I didn't know this. So I'm like, let me do a little history. And I thought that's what I would do. I got a little history for us today, so that'll be fun. But outline of topics today, Mahi, so you know.
Okay, so I know.
Yeah, she didn't get to practice.
I did not prep for this.
She prepped. That's what she kept saying. I'm not prepped.
Terrified.
I'm not prepped. I don't know how you'd prep for your own story, but whatever. You could have wrote it down, you know.
Yeah, but I didn't want to bring a notebook in here and then what's happening?
It'd be clunky.
It'd be weird.
It'd be totally clunky then. Nobody would like that. Outline of topics today. We're gonna do a little celiac history. I gotta read off I got some Google AI. We're gonna read that off. We're gonna go into your background first, basic stuff, where'd you grow up and all that. Then we're gonna go discovering the celiac, and I want to hear about that process of like, you know, what the symptoms and all that stuff, and what was the day of like, and because I know you spent like, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. How's life different now?
Okay.
Right, so pretty basic, and I think I sent you this outline, right?
Yeah.
It's like, who are you? What's your background? What was the day of and the process like figuring this thing out? And then, what's life like now? So no big deal. We'll be done in 2 minutes. And I'm kidding. Close out. Close out. I'm going to close it out.
My hands are like sweaty.
Yeah, it's warm in here too. It doesn't help none.
That's because I'm scared.
What do we got? Oh, yeah. Also, if you guys don't know, if you're familiar with Jekyll Hyde?
Yeah, I feel like I've seen you wear it a few times.
Yeah. They're a local Livonia apparel company.
Oh, really?
Yep. And so I figured, you know what? I might as well sponsor them too.
Yeah. Sponsor.
So I've been buying.
You should have sent me the link. I would have bought a t-shirt.
Dang, I didn't even think of that. Dang, that'd be good. You know what I should do is give you a shirt.
Yeah.
Dang. So these guys are based out of Livonia. Again, I say this. I've been saying this the past couple of podcasts, but they're like they're more extreme fitness apparel, right? So power lifters, Olympic lifters, CrossFitters, strongman, that type of stuff. It's not like yoga and Zumba and all that stuff. You're not going to see somebody wearing. You're not going to see Jekyll Hyde at the Pilates studio on the Reformer.
Hey, you ditched us on that Pilates.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling it. It sounds like I made the right call.
Yeah, you did.
Nothing personal, just I've done Pilates. I worked at Lifetime for 10 years, and they would periodically make you go and do all the stuff that they offer.
Yeah.
So you'd have to go do the yoga, you have to do the Pilates, you have to do the group fitness class, you have to do all these things. And so, I don't know. I just didn't like the Pilates, just blasting my stomach for an hour.
I think we were just too strong for it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it wasn't really that intense.
Well, Dua was saying it was like, it was really entry level what they did with you guys.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Like really entry level.
Yeah.
Mel turned up the resistance on hers.
Did she?
Yeah.
You guys had fun though, right?
Yeah, the group was fun.
Yeah, for sure. So you ready for some celiac history? Do you know the celiac history?
I do.
You do? Do you know it like this?
Yeah, most of it.
Oh, check that out.
I had to look up on it.
Yeah, for
I had
sure.
to research it.
Yeah, you dug in when you found out,
I had to. I'm like, hey, you slapped this diagnosis on me. I got to figure out what it is.
What's going on? Did you Google AI? What'd you do?
Well, I did Google it at first, and then I read a bunch of articles. Weird thing, I went to acupuncture. It was in one of the articles at acupuncture, too. So I was reading about that. Some other doctors did some research on it.
I have to talk about that, what the acupuncture did, what they think it's doing.
Apparently you can try to reverse it, but I don't know if it actually...
Yeah, we can maybe chat about that. I mean, I know. Let's see. I've heard of being able to reverse some autoimmune
I feel like
disorders with some
of them you
some
can.
stuff, which can make some sense. It's hard to change something once the body gets into a disease state. But I mean, the good thing for you is even if you can't or you're not able to, it's an easy fix.
Yeah.
Stop eating gluten.
That's the number one fix.
You know what I mean? So just stop eating the gluten. You're good to go. So let's cover a little celiac history for people listening that might not know. Google AI says celiac disease was first recognized as a distinct ailment in the late 19th century. Samuel G. G-E-E, just a G. A British pediatrician provided a clinical description in 1888. However, the understanding of the disease and its triggers has evolved significantly over time, with key advancements occurring in the 20th century. And then it's got a cool timeline here. Ancient times. I can't say this guy's name for the life of me. The Greek physician Arteius of Capricornia. No. How do you say that girl right there? Cappadocia?
Yeah, maybe Sia.
Cappadocia? Okay. The Greek physician Arrhenius of Cappadocia described a condition similar to celiac disease in the 2nd century AD.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Crazy. Is the banana one on there? The banana
don't say nothing about a banana.
Oh, you didn't get that one.
No, you have to fill that in, the banana guy. So, I mean, that's crazy to think that, one, how the heck does Google AI pick that up?
Yeah.
It just searched the entire internet and found that. And then, this is relevant, and put it up. It's getting scary. 1888, Samuel G. in London described the condition in children, noting the link to chronic indigestion and wasting. 1924, Sidney Haas, an American pediatrician, identified carbohydrates is a key dietary factor, so things are starting to get narrowed down. 1930s, William Dickey, D-I-C-K-E, a Dutch pediatrician, observed that children with celiac disease improved when wheat was removed from their diet. 1950s and 60s, further research identified gluten as the specific component in wheat that triggers the disease, and the connection between celiac disease and autoimmune disorders began to be explored. A couple more timelines here. 1970 to 1990, celiac disease was increasingly recognized as an autoimmune disease, and the association with other autoimmune conditions like type 1 diabetics became more widely accepted. And lastly, 2003, Beyond Celiac, an organization dedicated to celiac disease awareness, was founded. So that's the history. Now, what's with this banana?
They're trying to figure out, like, what kind of triggered it. And I guess they found out it was wheat, but one of the doctors made patients go on, like, a banana diet, like eating bananas, like, 3 to 4 times a day. But they discovered, like, there's no nutritional value.
That's all they were eating bananas?
All day.
Oh, my
Just
God.
eating bananas.
When was this?
Oh, my God. I think that was, like, the 1800s.
Oh,
Yeah,
way
yeah,
back.
yeah.
Okay.
And then they thought, like, okay, let's eat the bananas, and then in a few months or like maybe a year or so, we'll reintroduce wheat. The symptoms subsided, but the minute they ate gluten again,
Bam.
came back. So
that's the wrong button. That's it too. Gluten. There it is. That's the one we're looking for. Yeah.
The banana diet. So eating bananas, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. They thought, oh, it's cured. Yeah, there was no cure.
Oh, I see.
There was no cure for it. You just took away eating the gluten. But the minute they
the trigger,
reintroduced it back, the symptoms came back again.
So that was a big clue. You know, I guess prior to that, they were thinking, what the heck were they thinking? Because we understand exactly what's going on. The gluten in the food is causing the trigger, but they didn't know that. So what's he thinking with just bananas? Like, and why would he think that cured it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It didn't do anything.
Yeah, obviously, from our perspective, hindsight's 2020. Interesting. Yeah, that wasn't on there.
No, really?
Google AI, dropping the ball.
Bananas.
What are you going to do?
Banana diet.
Bananas. Anyways, don't do it. It doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
All right, where'd you grow up, girl?
So I grew up in Westland, Michigan.
That's where I grew up.
I went to...
That's right.
Yeah, we went
Were you on Surrey Heights?
I was on Surrey Heights.
Oh, my God.
My parents are still there.
That's crazy.
I went to Pearl Dewey, P.D. Graham.
Is that what that stood for?
Yeah, yeah.
I never knew that.
Wait.
Dang, I just always called it P.D. Graham. I didn't know it actually stood for anything.
Dewey.
Who's Pearl Dewey? You don't know either?
Know.
That's as far as you know, huh? Let's go, P.D. Graham.
Pearl Dewey.
That's our elementary school.
Yeah. I rode by the other day and I was like, Pearl Dewey. My mom goes, who's that? I'm like, P.D. Graham. She's like, I never knew it was called that. Yes, it's Pearl Dewey.
Did you know that between the P and the D, somebody spray painted a U one time? It was Pud Graham. That was awesome. Pud.
I actually loved that school.
It was
great elementary. I had a great experience there.
You guys don't know, Mahi's a teacher.
Yeah.
What grades are you teaching, or grade do you teach? Second. So you're an elementary school teacher. So from your perspective, P.D. Graham is a great elementary school. What would you?
Fabulous.
Is it really?
I love that school. Yeah.
What about it?
Teachers were great. Curriculum that we were being taught, great. Just overall, like, learning environment. The kids were good. Good neighborhood. We had a lot of parent volunteers. A lot of field trips. It was just like an overall, like, very good experience.
Was that your first teaching job?
No, my first teaching job was actually at Hamilton in Westland. Another great school. But in my opinion, P.D. Graham's the best.
P.D. Graham takes the cake.
Yeah, even when I was a kid, it was great.
That's, yeah. I mean, what do I know as a kid? Yeah, I had a good experience.
Yeah.
I actually got held back in first grade.
It doesn't count.
It doesn't count? I got to redo?
Doesn't count.
Well, it was interesting because I couldn't figure out the reading. I don't know why, because my memory, my memory is a lot better than it was, but it wasn't great. So they held me back the first year, but I had just kind of got it the last month or two.
Yeah.
And so when I came into the first grade again, I excelled in reading. Now I was advanced, you know?
Yeah.
And so I caught up by third grade, though.
It doesn't matter. And if you get held back in like I feel like K through 2, really.
Yeah.
Kids don't really know the difference. It starts to get tricky and weird when you get like
for
third,
sure.
fourth, fifth,
because they're way more aware of what just happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was just like, whatever. I was going to crack a joke about how I've been scarred my entire life, but I'm not. It didn't bother me at all.
Did it bother you?
It didn't bother me at all. Actually, I don't know if this is like just because this is what my brain did, but the kind of people that moved on, I actually like the new people that I was with better.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I just remember that, this is like a cooler group of people. Like, I remember seeing those people always a year ahead of me. I never really did like you.
You're like, This was a better group.
It was a better group.
We vibed better with that group.
We were vibing better for sure.
There were some years I'm like, yeah, I'm not really vibing with this group.
With
happens.
your students?
That happens.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Personalities clash, and it's just like some kids don't get on board. It's all a juggle. Each year is different. Every year is different.
Yeah.
One of the years almost took me out. That's why I don't teach summer school anymore.
What year was that?
Ooh, that was 2 years ago. That was a rough year.
Hope those kids don't listen.
It was rough. I had 16 boys.
What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything to me. When I was it was like 28 to 32 kids in a class.
Yeah.
What is it now?
So I had 25 total, 16 boys, I think 8 girls. It was just like, the kids weren't bad. Like the group of kids were not bad. It was just boys being boys. And it's like, I don't mind that at all. Like, I let kids be kids. That group was just like, every day they wanted to like jump off the chairs, or like we do a go noodle. I got someone kicking someone during the go noodle. Someone's trying to throw a chair. Yeah, it's
What's
like
that mean?
A brain break. Where the kids go crazy during a brain break.
Oh, they just get to go crazy.
They just get to go crazy for like
and then you expect them to go back to
7
normal.
minutes.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, and then they would just get like buck wild during the go noodle.
But they did.
Only the boys though. And I'm like, hey man,
That's
like
what boys
chill.
do.
It was a rough year that year. Yeah.
Go noodle.
And it was just a rough. They were a really good group though. I enjoyed that group. It was just
But it took a lot of energy.
Yeah. It took a lot of energy.
That makes sense. So, school teacher, you growing up, common questions I like to ask you. Did you play sports growing up?
I did. I ran track and volleyball.
Yeah. What'd you run on track? You short or long distance?
Short.
You were short? How short?
Like 200.
200s?
200 sprints, yeah.
How long did you do that?
Ooh, I did it up until 10th grade.
So how many years would you say?
I did all through middle school, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so 5.
5 years straight running fast.
Yeah, I only like just short distance.
Yeah.
Long distance.
Were you good?
No. Yeah, I feel like pretty decent.
Middle of the pack?
Yeah. Middle of the pack.
You remember your times on a 200-meter run?
No. I wish I did remember those.
It had to be like, I don't even know what, 30 seconds, 40 seconds?
It wasn't that
seconds.
long, yeah.
Yeah, that's intense.
I just remember running it like as fast as I could with the baton, like handing it off.
The relay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be fun.
It was fun though.
Yeah.
I don't know why I stopped. Should have kept going.
Yeah, you never know. So you did track, anything else?
Volleyball.
Volleyball? How long did you do that
volleyball
for?
was like 3 years. And then I was like, all right. I don't know. I just kind of just
Were
stopped
you bumping
doing it.
or spiking?
Oh, I did the bump. And then the last year I learned the spike. The spike is tricky.
Yeah, it's a lot of timing.
It's tricky, yeah.
A lot of timing.
Throw it up and then like you had to hit it like hard over the net.
Hard as you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
played
tricky.
the same volleyball a year. I don't remember when that was. Was that a whole summer after? It wasn't after I graduated. It was after I graduated. We and this kid, Ryan Baker, shout out. We got really good. We played every day. And I remember like these kids that were in college came. It was 2-on-2 same volleyball at the Westland. They got that little recreation area.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
They had sand volleyball courts, and we were up there every day. We beat these guys. I'll never forget that. Like, we just beat some college players, bro. We're so good.
I never played sand volleyball.
It's a blast. It's so good for your feet and calves, too.
Shoulda
Like,
did
just
it.
movement is incredible. All right, so you ran track.
Mm-hmm.
You played volleyball. Anything else?
No, I did cheer for a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And then I was like, all right.
You good on
all
that?
right. Yeah, I was good. I was good with cheer, and then I was like, all right, I think I reached my threshold on this.
With sports in general?
Honestly, I don't know why I stopped sports. No real reason. Just kind of was like.
Maybe you were getting tired and you had that celiac was already kicking in. Who knows? And we got to get into that.
It could have been.
Could have been.
In all honesty.
Could have been.
It could have been.
I mean, you're still, it would have been 10 years ago, 10-ish.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was your food environment like growing up?
Oh, okay. Food. I've always been a very picky eater. Very. Lots of fruit, lots of vegetables. I could go days without meat, honestly. Even now. It doesn't really bother me. Not really a big red meat eater. Always like chicken, turkey. Not really a seafood eater either.
And this was your household growing up?
My mom and dad.
Fruits, vegetables, meats, proteins.
Yeah, my mom and dad are across the board. They eat fruit, veggies, all red meat, pork.
So you weren't.
It was just me that I was like, yeah, I really don't
But
like
there
that.
wasn't chips, there wasn't pop, there wasn't donuts.
Yeah, there was. There were sweets. No pop though. We weren't.
No pop.
We weren't
We didn't
allowed
have pop
to,
either.
We weren't allowed to drink pop.
Yeah, milk.
No. Yeah, it was milk.
Dude.
Milk or I would say not even juice really. It was like milk or water.
Yeah, we didn't do juice either. It
No?
was milk or water, and it was never water. It was like grab the gallon of milk, and it's disgusting, and just would straight out the gallon, just straight to the dome, just pow.
To this day, I blame my dad. I pulled my neck when I was like 8 years,
Drinking
years
milk
old.
out the gallon.
He made me get the milk gallon out the fridge, and it like pulled my arm down. Went to school. Could not turn my neck. Had to go home in a neck brace. I had to go to the emergency room. Yeah.
What'd they do? Just put the brace on until you go home?
Brace on, I pulled a muscle. I was pissed because I had to miss gym for like a week and a half.
A week.
Yeah, apparently. My dad literally goes, that didn't happen. I'm like, it really happened.
That didn't happen. Gallon of milk weighs 7 pounds. So
it
must
killed my neck.
That's too bad. Probably never drank milk again after that.
I did for a little bit, and then I switched to almond milk.
When did you move out of your parents' home?
Oh, I left when I was 26.
Okay.
Honestly, I could have stayed there forever. I love my mom and dad.
Yeah.
But Ralph was like, it's time to move out.
Yeah. How old were you when you met Ralph? Was it in college or?
High school.
Really?
Yeah. So we met in, I was 11th grade. He was 12th grade.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang. Where'd you guys go to high school?
Glenn. John Glenn.
How do I not remember this?
Yeah. We went to John Glenn.
And where'd you go to middle school? Stevenson?
Stevenson.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Every time, what's great about me not remembering this is I get to experience it again. You know? I'm like, oh, that's crazy. What a small world. And so Ralph did the same track with CPD Graham?
No, Ralph went to Elliott, and then he went to Marshall, which is closed now.
Oh, Marshall. I remember that.
Yeah, and then he went to Glenn.
Was Marshall in Livonia?
No, it was in Westland, like right in the middle of Wayne Road and right in the middle of Wayne Road. You know what is it by?
Stevenson's off of Palmer.
Yeah. It's by like that Wayne Westland, like credit union. There's like a Tim Hortons by it, a Wendy's.
I think I know where that is. Yeah, I
right
think I know
off
where
Wayne
that is.
Road. Yeah. That's where he was at.
Yeah, Linden's popping in my head, but I don't think that's it. Okay, so you guys met in high school. You move out 26. So you joined the gym shortly after moving out of your parents' home. No kidding. Man, wow. So how long you been a member of the gym now?
5 years.
5 years.
5 years strong.
Getting jacked.
Yeah.
Super fit.
This is the first year I've been like jacked.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
That's it.
How much weight have you lost since the celiac?
Oh, I would say roughly like around maybe like 10 to 11 pounds. Maybe 12. Might be pushing 12.
I'm trying to stay linear on this like story we're going through, but if I keep wanting to jump ahead to the outcomes, you know. That's crazy. Yeah, you look jacked now.
I just leaned out some.
Totally.
I don't know if I really like it though.
We'll get into that. We can talk about like maybe some, how to stop that. Now, this is something where CrossFit's tiring. That's the thing, right? You do CrossFit and it's like 3, 2, 1, go, and you go as fast as you can till you get tired and then you hang on.
Yeah.
That's what most people do. Now I learned to pace over the years, but that's most people like, they go and they're tired within a minute. They're already breathing really heavy in a minute.
Yeah.
And then they just hang on. So did you feel like it was just hard from the beginning, or do you feel like it was hard and then you started to really slow down?
Okay.
Because, you know what I'm saying?
Like the first, I would say the first 3 to 4 minutes, it feels fine. After that,
this is prior to the celiac,
this is
I'm thinking.
Prior.
Okay.
I'm getting cooked after 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I'm gasping for air, trying to figure out what the hell is happening.
I remember there was a box jump workout, and I was just like, "Come on, Mahi, let's go." And you're like, "These box jumps," and I'm just like, "Oh, give me a break, just get going."
Yeah,
literally, you're just making excuses or whatever
for air,
dying.
Yeah.
So you were tired right away. You don't remember a time where hey, I feel pretty good, and then it started to dip.
For the most part, I would come out, I feel fine. I'm telling you, once it hits 4 to 5 minutes. I'm like,
yeah, I remember.
What's happening?
Super tired.
Yeah, I'm like, I cannot breathe. And then if it's a hot day, I literally couldn't breathe.
So when do you think the celiac was kicking in? When do you think have you thought about that?
It's probably always been there. No lie.
Since you were a kid?
Probably since
do you
I was
remember
a kid.
Always having problems with wheat?
Yeah. I would not. Okay. Weird thing is, never had any GI symptoms. Never had any stomach aches. Never was buckled over.
Yeah.
No vomiting. Nothing. I'm just eating, just going through life. But I would remember if we're outside playing, I'd be like, I can't breathe. But I'm like, I'm just a kid. No one can breathe as a kid. I'm just running.
Yeah.
Not even thinking about it. But then, like, as I got older, CrossFit is a thing that I was like, I literally cannot breathe. So I'm like trying to work on things, trying to pace, like, what's happening? But then once they told me I had it, I started like putting it together. A light bulb clicked. Like,
yeah.
Holy shit, it's probably been here my whole life. Never even knew it.
Because all these memories are popping in.
Yeah.
I was tired at this time. I was tired at this time.
Yes.
I was tired at this time.
Or I would have like headaches. And I'm like, why do I have a headache? Like, what's happening? I'm drinking water. I'm laying down. I'm eating. And then it literally clicked. And I'm like, holy shit.
So you think all the way back
here.
from like 6 and 7 or 8, 9 years old? Wow.
It's been there. Yeah, I think it's just been there and been like dormant, just residing. And something happened. It flipped a switch.
So, but I mean, you think it was affecting you back then?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Definitely.
but it got worse, you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think, what probably happened is, CrossFit's intense. You were expending a ton of energy. You're expending a lot of tissue. And you were using up the little iron that you were able to absorb.
Yeah.
And then it just started hitting you.
And my diet also changed from when I was a kid. Like, I told you I would eat wheat or, like, I would eat gluten. I would eat pasta. But never a daily basis. It was never, like, consistent.
Right.
Like, I would eat it. But then when me and Ralph got our own place, I started eating bread a lot more. And I'm like, all right. And I told him, I was like, I'm starting to feel weird off this bread. And then I was like, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. And then one day, it wasn't all right.
Yeah. So what happened? What happened that day?
It was like two instances. So the first one, I had a tuna sandwich for lunch, normal.
Mm-hmm.
And then like later that day, I was like, oh, I have a stomach ache. So I'm just thinking, I'm like, it's probably tuna,
Yeah.
And then the next
Tuna's
day,
a little weird.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Then the next day, I was like, okay, I had tacos. Like I've made tacos. I'm like, it's kind of a bad combination.
Tuna and tacos.
Yeah, weird combination. So I woke up in the middle of the night. And I'm like, oh, like literally my stomach is like hurting. This is not like a normal stomach ache. Like it's hurting like up top. That's never happened before. Just like right up here. And I go to the bathroom. I'm like, okay, I feel nauseous. I'm like, all right, something's going on. So then I throw up everywhere. And I call my mom and dad. I'm like, well, Ralph calls him. He's like, Ma, he's throwing up. Something's going on. My dad's like, well, what'd you eat? So I tell him what I ate. And I'm like, he's like, do you have a fever? He's like, maybe it's COVID. Because that was the time like during COVID, like when it was like starting to like fade away. And I'm like, no, I don't have COVID. Like, I just feel really, really weird. Like real weird.
It was a lot of pain.
Yeah, it was like a lot of pain. I had like a slight fever. Like a low grade fever. So I like drank some Pedialyte, like laid down.
I mean, most people would have thought food poisoning. You weren't thinking that?
My mind was thinking food poisoning.
Yeah.
No. So like I kind of went away after like a day and a half. Maybe like took me like 2 days to recover. And then I felt fine. So then like some months went by. We went down to see our uncle in Texas. And for the longest, I had stopped eating pork. I was just like weirded out about pork. Just didn't really care for it. Like,
bacon and everything?
Yeah. My mom and dad are like big pork eaters. Like, me and my brother were like, it was kind of weirded me out. So I go down to my uncle's. This is like how it all started. Go down to my uncle's and I'm like, all right, he has pork bacon. I don't want to be rude. He makes breakfast. I'm like, oh, shit, I guess I'll have to eat it. I'm just thinking, I'm like, whatever. So I eat it. And then I come back home.
From Texas.
And I'm like on this like pork kick. And I'm like eating pork bacon every single day.
Really?
Breakfast, making breakfast sandwiches on croissants, muffins. And then one day, I'm like, ugh. My throat starts like closing up. No lie. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, what is happening right now? First it was my stomach. Now my throat. Throat starts like feeling like it's burning. I'm like, what? So I kind of like let it go away. It kind of like fades away.
How long did that last though? How long was it burning like
Oh my God. It would go away. I thought I was catching a cold. So I took some cough medicine, went to the doctors, I checked my throat. They're like, nothing's wrong. We don't see anything. So then I'm like, all right, I keep eating, whatever. Still like kind of like eating the pork, whatever, eating the bread. It gets like tighter and tighter. So now I'm like struggling.
This is over days or hours?
Like,
what is this?
A couple of weeks to like months.
Really?
Yeah, it just started like progressively getting worse. So then I'm like struggling to drink water. Like I literally would wake up or I can't drink water. Like I'm literally like focusing, like telling my mind like, okay, drink this water.
Oh my God.
So I tell Ruff, I'm like, something's off. I got to go to the doctor's. So I go to my doctor and she's like, oh, we think that's acid reflux. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like why though? I've never had this before. And I'm like, I'm not eating anything out of the ordinary. Like bacon shouldn't like make my throat close up or like bread or whatever. She's like, oh, okay, we just think it's acid reflux. So they give me like some over-the-counter like Pepcid to take.
Yeah, Pepcid.
It helps it. Then a couple months later,
no
stomach ache is back again. And I'm like, what is happening? Something's just off. So
I
then
had no idea. You weren't telling me any of that.
No. So
you're just coming in working out.
Yeah, I'm just working out. I'm like trying to work
push
out.
through.
Yeah, just push through. I'm like, let me just change up some things. Just keep pushing through. So my dad's like, you need to go see a GI doctor and see what's going on. So I'm like, all right. So I call the doctors. They're like, well, we can't get you in until September.
Well, when is this? This is August?
No. It was like, okay, so the timeline was the stomach ache happened. Then I went down to Texas that we went in like July.
Mm-hmm.
And then like some months, the fall and winter went by. So now we're back in like March. So I call my doctor. I'm like, hey, I need to get in there. So almost like a year goes by. Well, yeah, a year. So I'm like, all right, I need to get in my throat. I'm having issues with my throat. I'm kind of having like upset stomach aches. So then they're like, we can't get you until September. And I'm like, well, shit, I'll be dead by then if I keep waiting. So they're like, well, go see your PCP.
This is March and they told you September?
Yes.
What the heck?
U of M are supposed to be the greatest. Maybe wait. So I go to...
We love U of M. It's a great hospital. We love you, U of M.
It's a fabulous hospital with Jesus. So I go and I go see my primary care. And they're like, all right, I get my blood work drawn. She's like, let's check your thyroid. Let's just check your CBC. So they ran the panel. And then oddly, my OBGYN calls. Like a couple weeks later. Exactly. Not my primary care, my OBGYN calls. She's like, hey. I'm like, yeah. She's like, all your other labs came back right. But do you know your hemoglobin's at 6? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, it's at 6. Like, it's dangerously low. You could have a heart attack. You need to go to the emergency room. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Where should it be?
It should be at 15.
Okay.
So I'm at 6. So I'm like
half.
Below the threshold. Like well below.
Why is the OBGYN calling?
I have no idea. And I was like, what do you mean?
That's the greatest mystery out of all of this.
That lady saved my life. If it wasn't for her, I probably would be dead somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she called. So I'm panicking now. So I call my mom and dad. I'm like, hey, they say I need to go get like a blood transfusion or an iron infusion. My dad's like, okay, well, maybe you should go and check it out because, you know, you said your throat was bothering you. So I'm like, yeah, you're right. Let's just go. So I tell Ruff, I'm like, hey, I sit down with him like, seriously, I think I need to go to the doctor's. And he's like, why? And I'm like, well, OBGYN called. She said hemoglobin's seriously low. So he's like, well, shit, let's go tonight. And I'm like, we can wait till the morning. So we go the next morning.
Oh, my God.
We go the next morning, we drive down to U of M. I'm waiting there. Emergency room's like at max capacity. I'm like, Jesus, I'm never getting out of here. So they do.
Are you feeling fine at this point? Like
I
throat's
feel
fine, everything's
like,
good, no stomach pain?
No, throat feels fine. My stomach feels fine. I'm eating a bagel that morning.
Oh, yeah, of course you are.
I had a bagel. I had a cream of wheat.
That makes totally... You had cream of wheat and then a bagel. Hell yeah.
And both.
Let's go.
Meanwhile, I'm like, I think we can be out of here by 5 to make it to the gym. That's how rough tastes like.
This is a Saturday? This is a Friday? Yeah.
He's like, we ain't making it. So I'm like, damn it. So I'm waiting there and I'm waiting. And then I finally go on the back. And they're like, all right, we ran your vitals. They took like the EKG, all that stuff. So I'm waiting. I'm like, all right, cool. I think I'm going to get this iron infusion. I'm going to go. Well, one of the doctors comes back and she's like, yeah, we can't let you go home. And I'm like, what do you mean I can't go home? She's like, yeah, your hemoglobin's so low. We think you might have an ulcer. And I'm like, I feel fine. I'm like, what do you mean? they think you might be bleeding from somewhere internally. And
Oh my God.
I'm like, I feel fine. So then another doctor comes, and now I'm like panicking. I'm like panicking. And Ralph's like, just calm down, calm down.
Yeah, I remember it was an ordeal for you guys. So Ralph was like,
I'm stressed. He's stressed. And I'm like, well, I feel fine. What do you mean? And another doctor comes, and she's like, we need you to do a prep. And I was like, well, is this something I can like schedule with my doctor? And I'm like, prep for what? And she's like, a colonoscopy. And I'm like, for what? And she's like, we need to see if you're bleeding internally. And I'm like, okay, like, can I have a second to like think about this?
process.
So again, I call my mom and dad, and they're like, okay, just do it. Just double check. So then they come back, and they're like, we're actually going to do a double exam or whatever. And I'm like, well, what's the other one? And they're like, endoscopy. And I'm like, what? And they're like, we're going to check.
They're going through both ends.
Yes.
Jesus.
And I'm like, okay.
And this is still what, Friday?
This is Friday. This is Friday night. So then Ralph's like, well, I got to go home and get the dog and let him out and take him to your parents. And I got to get clothes.
I still got responsibilities.
Yes. So they're like, you can do it with your primary care, but you probably have to wait like 4 to 5 months. So we would rather you just do it now. So I'm like, all right. So they come back with like this giant milk jug called Go Lightly. And if anyone's ever had a colonoscopy, you know what happens.
Go Lightly. That's great.
The nastiest drink I've ever had to drink. It's like warm salt water, but they fill it with electrolytes. So you're not like losing stuff in between. It was bad. So then...
And the experience is bad, which we don't need to get into that.
No, exactly. That's what I'm like, if you know what happened.
Yeah.
It was bad.
When you know, you know.
You know, you know. So I end up staying there for like 3 days. They gave me both procedures. Then I had to get the blood transfusion and then the iron infusion. And then I was able to go home by Monday. Yeah. So it was kind of rough. But they took biopsies and everything.
Yeah, I mean, everything's good to go. There's no internal bleeding.
Yeah, no internal bleeding. Everything's good to go. So they're like, you need to take your iron pills. So they gave me like this super high dose of iron that I had to take 4 times a week. So I started taking that. And then I got my biopsies back 2 weeks later. And then I had an appointment with my GI. And they went over it and they were like, yeah. Well, I remember before they told me the celiac, they asked me when I was at the hospital. They were like, you're so young, you're so healthy, like, we don't really see anything physically wrong. Like, does anyone in your family have sickle cell, or has anyone ever been tested for celiac? And I was like, well, I don't know what that is. I know what sickle cell is, but I don't know what celiac is. And they explained it, and I'm like, no one has that in my family. So they just, like, ran a panel, and then 2 weeks later after I got out of the hospital, I had my appointment, and they were like, yeah, based on the biopsies, we see celiac. And I was like, wait, what?
Wow.
And I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, your biopsy showed like celiac sprue. And then
sprue.
Yeah, like
what's that?
I guess it's part of the disease, some type of sprue. That's what it's called. Yeah, celiac sprue.
Celiac sprue. I gotta look that up.
And then there's something.
You know what it looks like?
SPRUE.
Where's young Jamie? We need young Jamie. Mahi probably don't know what that is. You listen to Rogan?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, you Rogan fans. We need young Jamie to look this up, but we can't do that.
Celiac sprue.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. SPRUE.
Yep.
Oh, I'll cover it in the next podcast.
Yeah.
Huh. So, anyway, so they say you got celiac, you got the sprues going on, whatever the heck that is.
And there was something else that was tied to it. So they said that I have something called lymphatic gastritis. And I said, well, what's that? And they were like, it's either tied to celiac or H. pylori. And you tested negative for H. pylori. And I'm like, the GI doctor's going in depth of it. And I'm like, holy shit. So I have it. And I'm like,
I got the celiac.
This guy's talking. And I'm like, he just slapped a diagnosis on me. I don't even know what this is right now.
Yeah, you can't even hear what he's saying. You're just like...
My mind was like...
Yeah, right. They just said you have a disease. You don't even know what celiac is.
I don't even know what it is.
Wow. So
I asked him...
on the level, you thinking it's like cancer level? What do you think? It's a death sentence? You have no idea.
I'm like, my mind instantly went cancer. I'm like, I have cancer. What's happening? What's happening? Am I going to live?
Crap.
I'm like, what's happening? What's happening? So they're like, yeah, it's an intolerance to gluten. And they're like, well, you tested. They gave me, I actually took a blood test for it, and it came back negative. And I said, well, my blood test came back negative. And they're like, yeah, that can happen.
Oh.
But you have something what we call asymptomatic celiac. And I'm like, what is that? So I displayed no symptoms, no GI distress, no discomfort. But the main sign was incredibly low iron. So essentially, like, I was eating gluten and it was stopping my body from absorbing the iron and the nutrients.
Yeah, I should look into why and how it's doing that mechanistically.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm imagining that the celiac test that you did that came back negative is probably searching for some sort of immune antibody that isn't being activated because you're asymptomatic.
Yes. So it's like
it's interesting that you still get affected though.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's honestly when I was reading and researching, I'm like, I think it's probably been here my whole life because there's no other reason why my iron would be incredibly low. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm eating the right way, I'm exercising, why is my iron so low?
Yeah. I mean, you're eating some red meat, right?
Yeah. Even as a kid.
You taking a multi?
Yeah. I take a few stuff, like I take a multivitamin, I take zinc, vitamin D. I'm, like, loaded up on my supplements. And that was just...
I want to look up... We need a young Jamie for sure. I want to look up why and how is the celiac blocking the iron absorption.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
It's like, I don't know, it does something and it's just not allowing it to absorb.
Yeah.
So strange. Now I remember, like, I started thinking back and I'm like, I kind of remember as a kid when my mom would be like, you need to take these iron pills. And I'd be like, no, they're nasty. Like, I hated the way they tasted. I'm like, no, I don't want to take this.
Were you chewing them up?
They're like, she literally was like, chew them because I couldn't, like, swallow.
You were chewing them.
And I was like, this is nasty. So now that I think back to it, I'm like, it probably was there the whole time.
Yeah.
But it never like came out. And I asked my GI doctor, I said, hey, like, why now? And he said sometimes it just comes out in your, like, I guess the time frame is roughly like in your 30s.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, in your 30s, or like if you're stressed or if like you have a dramatic change in your body, something kind of just flips the switch and it just turns on.
Yeah, well, you could see like you know, when you're young, your tolerance against nutrient deficiency is way stronger. Your metabolism is just way more adaptable and it just can muscle through without stuff. And so when you get into your 30s or whatever, doing CrossFit, training hard, you know, probably trying to lose a little weight, right? Maybe you're in a calorie deficit and all of a sudden, like, it's too much.
It just flipped.
Flipped the switch. Pow. So you got the celiac. And then what do? They give you hey, here's what you got. Here's these papers. You know, go home, take these iron pills.
Well, they gave me the iron pills. And then the GI goes, well, you know, you do get a tax break because, you know, yes. I'm like, what is this guy talking about?
What?
He's like, you get a tax break because of gluten-free food because it's so expensive.
Get out of here.
And I'm like,
what are you even talking about right now?
I don't even know this right now. You just told me I can't.
Is this real? Are you making this up as a joke?
He literally told me that.
What kind of tax break?
What did he said it. I literally cannot remember.
Well, like you get like a $250 credit or something. $1,000 credit.
Yeah, something you show your receipts or you send it into something and they give you a break on your taxes every year.
Got that in the...
And I'm like, out of all things, you're telling me I get a tax break. Like, that's gonna make me feel better.
You're like, oh dang, I'm glad I got this.
That I can't eat gluten anymore.
My brain's going to who's the politician that is wasting our tax dollars getting that in place?
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
Anyways, yeah.
I also found out I get into national parks for free.
What in the world? For what?
Because celiac's a disability.
Oh my God.
So, hey, my next trip to the Grand Canyon will be free.
Oh, God.
Why?
I mean, I guess I'm happy for you.
I'm
but
not, because all I really want to eat is a burger.
Yeah. You just want to eat that bun.
With a good bun.
You just want to eat that bun. So how long was so you've had 2 major changes, that right? You're probably taking iron regularly. You were getting infusions, weren't you? Weren't you going and getting?
I got 1 infusion. It actually hurt like hell too.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's like really weird going through your body. It feels like it's like pinching you.
Huh.
Strange.
Put it through your arm,
yeah.
IV?
Yep, IV. And it just kind of drips in. And then I got the blood transfusion.
Uh-huh.
That was weird too. That was like cold going in. Strange.
That's weird.
Strange.
And then, so you're like, all right, so you got to take some pills and you got to change your diet and give you don't eat these things. And you cut them all out. You were cold turkey, or what happened there? You're like, maybe I can still eat this.
No, I instantly cut it off instantly, because they were like, it probably won't happen, but if you continue to eat gluten, you put yourself at risk to get like stomach cancer, or so essentially, if you continue eating it, it destroys your villi. So everyone has villis that look like this. When you continue to eat gluten, if you have celiac, your villi becomes flat. So then your body essentially can't protect anything that goes through. So it's like you're damaging your insides.
Yeah, gotcha.
So and essentially like you stop absorbing all the nutrients. It's all these like weird things that start to happen. And then you can like be at risk to get like hyperthyroidism, like all these like weird things start to come with it if you continue to eat it. One thing I did, so I just stopped it like cold turkey.
That was scary enough.
Yeah. The whole experience was just traumatic enough for me to be like, all right, that's it.
Yeah.
But the sad part is I didn't get to have a farewell tour to gluten. I wanted to do like a farewell tour.
What would have been on the tour?
Oh, all the foods that I can't eat anymore.
What's top of the list? Donuts or?
Oh, freshly glazed donut from Looney, because I used to get it every Saturday. Depressing. I can't have any more.
All right, pause in the action.
What happened? What happens if you pause it? Does it like?
What's that?
If you pause it, will it like still flow back together?
I'm gonna send it off, and Nathan, the editor, he's gonna edit it up. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Multiple times I'm like, shit, Nathan, I screwed this whole thing up. Give me a minute, I'll just kind of regroup and then get going again. He just cuts it out, or I'll burp into the thing and he cuts it out. He's gonna probably cut all this out, maybe. You can leave this in, Nathan. It's totally fine. All right, what were we saying?
My farewell tour. That I didn't get to have.
That's right. We had a little technical difficulty. We lost some lighting back there. We had to get that straightened out. Farewell tour. What's number 1 on the farewell tour?
The glazed donut from
donut from Looney.
Yes.
Huh? No kidding. Did you grow up eating Loonies?
No, I actually never had it until I joined the gym. And I was always a Dom's Bakery donut eater in Ipsy.
Okay.
By EMU.
I don't know that one.
So good. So then one day I was like, oh, let's stop at this donut place right here. And Looney is delicious.
Yeah, Looney's pretty amazing.
So good. I didn't get to have that last donut.
Yeah, Looney been around. It's a local donut shop.
Good.
And they've been around for years. I don't remember how long, but it kind of went down and somebody bought it. I don't remember if it was I don't remember if it was the son or the kid of the owners or something like that, and then just turned the whole thing back around. So it's back to like slamming again.
It's good.
It's Looney's good. So Looney glazed donut would have been on there. I would have probably been like Krispy Kreme, but that's fine. Krispy Kreme donuts, boy.
Oh my God, they're good. They're good. But Looney's up there, man.
What else would have been on the tour?
So we eat at Vizzy's Pizza, another local pizza place. Always get like the thin crust, pepperoni, pineapple. I know some people hate pineapple on pizza.
Some people, it's a love-hate thing for people, that's for sure.
I didn't have that on my farewell tour, so that would be second. A good pretzel.
Oh, soft pretzel?
Yes.
So good. One of my favorite foods.
Oh my God. I can't have it.
Mustard or cheese?
Cheese.
Mustard.
Cheese. You have to do the hot cheese.
Mustard. Where are my mustard people at?
My dad's a mustard eater. I'm like,
exactly.
You're disgusting.
Your dad knows what's up.
No, you got to do hot cheese. So that would be on there.
Okay.
Man, a good brioche bun.
Yeah. With a burger.
And I love croissants. Fresh croissant.
Yeah. I don't eat croissants very often, but they're pretty good.
No.
No.
They're so good.
When I was a kid, I remember when I was a kid, everybody was putting like tuna on their croissant. People still doing that? Yeah, like a tuna sandwich with a croissant.
Yes. That's the one that made my stomach hurt.
Is that right? Dang. Croissant gotcha.
I guess that was my farewell tour.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, you about to get some of this. Take that.
And last, I swear, I would have to go back to get a Chick-fil-A spicy chicken sandwich.
People love Chick-fil-A.
Love Chick-fil-A.
I haven't had it in 20 years.
I just needed like 1 week of a farewell tour. And then I would be set and ready.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Ready to go.
Now, you went off gluten 100%. Have you had a little bit and it rocked you, or any experience with that?
One time when we were at Dua's,
I
had that. She ordered that Mediterranean.
I remember that.
And she didn't know that it had
those little noodles in there.
Yeah, those vermicelli noodles.
Yeah.
So I ate it and I'm like, dude, are you sure there's no gluten in there? Are you sure? She's like, no, I promise. Hours later, no bullshit. I was like, oh, I was at home like, my stomach is hurting. I'm like, what's happening? And then like 2 days later, Dua was like, I forgot to tell you, I'm so sorry. It had gluten in it.
Yikes.
And that's when it like kind of clicked. And I was like, I absolutely have it, because I never removed it to see if I would ever feel bad if I ate it again. That was like the first time I removed it and then accidentally ate it. Right?
Placebo effect.
Yeah.
You know, you think it's going to affect you, so it does. You had no idea, and then bam.
And then there it was. And I was like, oh my God, it kind of clicked.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, I used to have like, my right knee would get really like tight or sore. And I'm like, oh, that's probably just from lifting at the gym. Like maybe I should take it easy. The minute I stopped eating gluten, my knee pain went away.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently it causes like inflammation in your joints.
Yeah, for sure.
Never.
You're going to get systemic inflammation.
Yeah. My knee is not bothering me anymore.
That's good.
Crazy.
Yeah, knock those you know what I'm saying? Inflammatory levels down.
Yes, it did. It did.
Well, that's good.
Weird.
What's life like now?
It's been kind of rough because I had to like rearrange and change my whole diet. So
that's a process.
It's been kind of rough with that. It's been kind of rough mentally because I don't think anyone pays attention to how much like food is a big factor into like your daily, like hanging out with friends, like work. You don't really have to think about what you're eating, but the minute you have to think about it, like, oh my God, does this have gluten in it? Or, oh my God, I got to read the label. It starts to become like mentally exhausting. And draining.
At first.
Yeah. And
you're then like, you get adapted to it.
You get adapted to it, but at first it's like, oh, okay, what restaurant can I go to?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to make sure that they're not frying this in the same fryer. Oh, I got to make sure that the sauce doesn't have gluten in it.
Yeah.
So at first it was very rough. Trying to think, me and Ralph, we haven't been out to eat in a while because I've been kind of like scared to like try it. So we've been cooking a lot at home. I was gonna try it over the summer.
You gonna try some gluten over the summer?
No, like eating at a restaurant.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because I've been like so scared, like, oh, I don't want to get sick. I hate stomach aches. I hate like being sick.
Yeah,
and I've been
that's
like
understandable.
terrified, like, ugh.
So you really haven't been eating out?
We've been cooking. And then I did that like Whole30 thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's how I ended up like leaning out a bit because I cut out literally everything and like started from scratch. Like,
so what did you do before that? You just like, all right, I'm just going to avoid gluten.
Yeah.
And then you came across Whole30 and you're like, why did you think Whole30 would be a better move than just what you were doing?
What did I do to make me do Whole30? Oh, something was still bothering my stomach. Even after I removed gluten.
Oh.
Something was kind of like, I don't know if it was the removal of gluten and my like gut biome was like trying to readjust.
To that? Could have been.
But something was still bothering my stomach. So I said, well, forget it. I'm just going to go straight from scratch. So I literally took everything away. Processed foods, chocolate, coffee, dairy. Soy, removed it all. Oats, because that's another thing I have to be careful with too. Like wheat grows next to oats or something like that. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. So like 5% of people that have celiac also have a reaction to oats. So I took oats away. I haven't added those back yet. I'm kind of scared.
I can't eat oatmeal for nothing.
Really?
No, it was like 3 years ago, because I just get in the habit of eating what I'm eating. And I'm like, man, I want to get some different carbohydrate sources. I'm like, oh my God, oatmeal.
Yeah.
Duh. So I buy a big thing of oatmeal. I have a big bowl one day. I'm like, awesome, man, oatmeal. Have a bowl again the next day.
Good.
Have a bowl again the next day. I'm like, it feels a little different today. Third day, destroyed me. Like brain fog,
God,
was sitting on the couch, just lethargic. Like, oh my God, I feel terrible.
It's the oats.
Oatmeal's out.
Dang.
Yeah, I can't do oatmeal.
See, I'm like nervous and I'm back. I'm scared.
Yeah. I might have been able to do it, like once every 2 weeks or once a week, but like the 3 days in a row. And to me, I'm like,
it's too much.
Yeah, I don't know.
Everybody was like, whoa. What's happening? What's happening?
Oatmeal's tasty, especially with some butter and some brown sugar.
It's so
on
good.
it.
It's so good.
I wish there was a cream of wheat. That's actually my favorite that doesn't have gluten.
Can't even have that anymore. I tried cream of rice and I was like, what is this?
It's
not even the same.
No, it's not the same.
Not even the same.
It's an imposter for
disgusting.
sure. Insult to the cream of wheat.
Disgusting. Yeah, so I did the whole 30, took everything away, and like slowly started to reintroduce things. The whole 30 was actually very hard.
It's very hard.
It's very
And they
hard.
put that rule in place. If you mess up, start over.
Yes, very hard. And then it like made me it created. So I'm like half and half. I kind of regret doing it, but then I kind of don't regret. One, I like how I leaned down a little bit, but I regret it slightly because it made me create or have this like phobia or fear of food.
Mm-hmm.
So where I'm like looking at things like I try to add back corn, right? Corn is so simple, but it's a grain that's like hard to digest.
Some people, for sure.
So I made corn like 2 weeks ago, and I'm staring at the plate of corn like,
what's it gonna do?
What's it gonna do to me? What's it gonna do to me? And I'm like, this is bad. Like, I never would have looked at food this way if I didn't do this whole 30.
Yeah.
So that it kind of created like
a little bit of imbalance.
Yeah.
A little bit. You'll find yourself back to a good place though.
Exactly. So I'm trying to get out of that mindset. But the whole 30 was tough. No lie. It was
very tough. Is it 30 days or 40 days?
It was 30 days, but I ended up doing it for 90.
Straight?
90
without
straight.
a hitch?
Nope. Just straight.
Wow.
Like, and Ralph was like, you're insane. He was like,
he's just thinking, stop,
he
please
goes,
stop.
"You're insane."
Making my life so hard right now.
He's like, you gotta give it up. And I'm like, I gotta write it out to see what's happening. I gotta see how my body's gonna change. And I wrote it out, but I'm like, maybe I should have pulled back a little bit.
maybe a little sooner.
Tough.
What was the first food you introduced?
The first food I introduced back, what was it? It wasn't dairy. It took me a while for dairy. Dairy I just started last week. What was it? Oh my God, what was it? Well, it wasn't corn. No, I think it was corn.
Yeah.
I think it was corn. Because I was already eating like potatoes, sweet potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was broccoli.
Oh.
It was broccoli. And it made my stomach hurt.
Yeah.
And I was like,
don't
great.
do broccoli.
It like blew my stomach up.
Yeah.
I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah, like blew it up like distended.
Yeah, because I guess it's a coniferous veggie.
Yeah, I used to know it. I don't pay attention
Yeah.
anymore. Coniferous? No, it's not
Yeah.
coniferous. It's something else. Young Jamie.
He needs you in here.
Green beans. I did an elimination diet years ago.
Okay.
And first food I introduced was green beans. Absolutely decimated me. Unbelievable.
And they're like, it's supposed to be healthy for you.
Oh, yeah.
No, it destroys.
Well, it's that mindset of all vegetables are benign and benevolent is the word right there. All vegetables are good for you and as much as you like. No. Even water. Too much water is bad for you, right? You can't just have as much as anything as you'd like. It's not going to be good.
No.
And so there's plenty of vegetables that people have sensitivities to for sure.
Yeah. And I'm slowly rediscovering that.
Yeah. So you just got to figure it out how your system operates and, don't make blanket statements for make everybody eat the way you want them to eat.
Exactly. And I kind of got looped into that where they're like, do the carnivore diet. No, where it's like, no veg, it's just straight meat. And I'm like, that can't be right. That can't be good.
Listen.
Other one's like the elemental diet.
What's that one?
I think that one's like liquid. Like straight liquid.
Yeah?
I'm like, why?
Straight up just liquids.
Yeah, to like readjust your gut biome.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And I'm like,
they
I
know
don't
what it's
know
doing.
about this stuff,
Like, listen, man, I'll say this, the gut biome, legit, 100%. We got biofilms all over us, our eyes, our skin, our ears, everywhere, especially the guts. There's a whole ecosystem down there, but we don't understand it. And if anybody acts like, oh, this diet's going to do this for your gut biome, people don't know.
People don't know.
They don't know.
No.
We're figuring it out, and we'll probably have it pretty nailed down in 20 years.
Yeah.
But that is a long process of really getting things dialed in, the experiments and all that stuff, and getting the funding and all that.
It's tricky.
But it's legit, no doubt about it. What were we saying? Something wrong there. Oh, yeah, liquid diet.
Yeah,
the carnivore. I'll say about the carnivore. Fine, you can go carnivore, but we're omnivores. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
It's just a fact.
I don't think it can be good to just eat. I mean, meat is good, but you need something else in there.
Meat's the most nutrient-dense food on the planet. Okay,
you need some veggies in there.
I don't know what's feeding your gut microbiome because meat ain't doing it.
No.
It ain't doing it.
You need some greens.
And there's always going to be outliers that can last a long time. I mean, I don't know. Diet is such a personal thing.
It really, that's another thing I've discovered. It's like you can't say something that's going to work for everyone because everyone is different. Everyone is so different.
We're all gonna, but the basics are gonna stay the same for everybody. What are the basics? The basics are you need energy.
Yep.
You gotta eat, others you're gonna die. You need nutrients. You need macronutrients and micronutrients.
Yep.
Now, however you choose to get those, you want to go vegan, you want to go vegetarian, you want to go carnivore, you want to eat a balanced, vegetable meat diet. Whatever you want to do, you can do that.
You can do it.
You got to make sure you get in enough nutrients to feed your metabolism.
You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 100%.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
You need that.
Yeah, I don't eat green beans. You don't eat broccoli.
I'm gonna try and add it back in.
Broccoli's disgusting. Let's be honest.
What?
I hate it. One time I was eating broccoli because I was smashing broccoli, and how did this go? I posted it on Instagram or Facebook, and it looked like, oh yeah, that's what it was. It looked like, how the broccoli's got the little broccoli head thing.
Yeah.
Well, it looked like there was some big ones that just kind of got cooked off and were in the broccoli, and I'm eating the broccoli, and I'm like, man, these look a little different. So I look a little closer.
What's in it?
They were little bugs.
No.
Swear to God, they were like the size of a small tick, looked like a tick. There was tons of them. I just thought the broccoli was breaking up. So I don't know how much I had eaten at that point, but some of them were moving. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what is going on with that? I took a picture and I zoom in, got little legs. I'm like, what in the world? I ain't never.
So after that, you were done.
I mean, I was already on my way out with broccoli. I was already kind of like, I don't like this stuff. It stinks. Like, it's terrible smelling when you cook it.
It does.
Yeah. So I was already on my way out, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back. It was gone. Bugs in my. It was disgusting.
You were like, that's it. That's it was
disgusting.
For me.
So you reintroduce broccoli, you reintroduce some foods. Mm-hmm. Corn. Now, you don't do corn. I
do corn.
So you can digest corn?
Yeah, I can digest corn.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yep.
I can do corn all day, no problem.
Corn is fine. I reintroduced dairy, but I did aged cheddar cheese.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like
you said that's like a week ago?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And you're good to go, huh?
Yeah. I chose aged and hard cheeses because there's like very little lactose in it.
Oh, really?
So it's easier to digest if you have taken it away.
Yeah.
So I added that back in. Yesterday, I had a little piece of dark chocolate, which was delicious. It was delicious. Although I was kind of nervous, though, because the brand I got, that brand Hue? Like, it's like in that.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. The Back to Human
Hue okay,
brand.
Yeah.
Someone said that there's metals in that, and I was kind of skeptical.
Oh, man.
So now I don't know. But it was actually delicious.
People say all kinds of stuff these days.
So I don't know if they were lying or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it was very good.
Maybe they're just hating on Hue and they're going to put some fake news out there,
I was just trying to enjoy that piece of chocolate, and then I was like, wow, I didn't really need to see that.
Yeah, this is interesting. The thing about the plants and the attack that came on plants was the polyphenols, the plant chemicals, right? Hey, listen, plants can't run, and they had to build defenses to keep from being eaten. If they designed themselves to be eaten, they wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Evolution they would just got eaten and they would pulled out of the evolutionary process, right? But they built defense mechanisms to not be eaten. polyphenols, plant chemicals. You don't eat trees. You don't eat bushes. There's way more plants you don't eat compared to the plants that you do eat.
Yeah.
So interesting thing about chocolate.
What's wrong with it?
What makes the chocolate more chocolatey, dark chocolate versus or what's it called, milk chocolate, is the concentration of the plant chemicals, the polyphenols. That's why it gets bitter. That's why, people like it strong.
Yeah.
So dark chocolate, especially if you have a sensitivity to it, actually isn't healthier because you're getting a higher concentration of the plant chemicals.
So which one should I be eating? Milk?
I mean, if you're going to eat it, I can't really do much chocolate.
Really?
Yeah, I eat a little bit I guess I eat the milk chocolate all the time in the Snickers bar. Maybe that's why it bothers me sometimes a little bit. But I cannot do dark chocolate.
Really?
A great test if something is bothering you, if you eat it and you feel it in your stomach. I'll eat 400 grams of potato, 5 ounces of beef, a tablespoon of butter, some eggs, good to go. Don't feel anything. Take a small bit of dark chocolate, feel it. I'll literally feel it on top of my stomach, and I'll feel it move its way down all through my stomach. And I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't eat that.
That fast?
Yeah, me, as soon as it gets in my stomach, I'm feeling it. So that's a good indicator. Like if you're feeling your stomach after you eat, and I don't mean like a full or there's something in there, but no, you're feeling something. Well, maybe you shouldn't be eating it. It probably doesn't agree with you, exactly.
But the Snickers doesn't bother you.
No, Snickers isn't great. If I eat a Snickers by itself, I can feel that in my stomach for sure. But I'm always weighing that against, well, I still have to get in enough energy. I don't want to be tired tomorrow. I want to be able to get my workout in. I've got 18 things I'm going to do tomorrow, right? And it's like, all right, well, if I'm not getting in enough calories to sustain my energy levels, well, I'm going to get tired. So I'm always weighing it against that. It's very rapidly digested because it's already digested, basically. Like all that processing is really just breaking it down so it digests faster. That's why the carbohydrates fell into the high glycemic thing for a long time. Back, and this might have been like 15, 20 years ago, everybody was... carbohydrates started to get labeled as like that's when the brown rice and the white rice thing kind of came out. And the brown rice was deemed to be better because it was absorbed slower and the white rice would be absorbed faster. White potato, sweet potato, right? White potato, it's gonna get absorbed faster. It's in a finer state, if you will. But none of that stuff really panned out. And so the measurement was, we'll give you 75 grams of this and we'll see how much it raises your blood sugar. Popcorn really raised people's blood sugar. Because think about popcorn, right? It's not in a kernel anymore. You've taken the carbohydrate and expanded its surface area, and now the enzymes in your stomach can act on that surface area more because there's more of it, right? Corn, popcorn. And so you would absorb it quicker, and it would raise your blood sugar higher. But that was all done with carbohydrates by themselves. They didn't do it with, a steak and some salad and some fat, right? That's going to totally change the absorption rate of the foods that you're eating. So you don't even hear about glycemic index.
That's interesting.
Have you heard of that, glycemic index?
A little bit.
Yeah, people don't even talk about it anymore because it
kind of just phased out.
Yeah, everybody's excited about it. Look, we figured it out. Kind of. It phased out. So,
yeah.
Anyways.
Kind of just faded away.
So, your diet's changed drastically. You're reintroducing things. You lost 15 pounds.
No, I think the max
10,
was 12.
12
I want to
pounds.
say the max had to be 12.
It's pretty significant without effort, right? Right. You weren't trying to lose weight.
No, I think it was the straight diet change.
For sure.
I think taking away the processed food.
Yeah. You lost a lot of calorie intake, right?
Yeah,
you also lowered your inflammation levels, which is going to help.
I think that,
Your workouts have been
way better.
Crazy better, by the way.
Night and day.
Yeah.
Literally.
Like we're running and I'm doing a workout with Mahi in the group and I'm like, why is Mahi in front of me? What is going on here? Your energy levels double.
I'm literally not even on the floor after the workout.
Nope.
I'm up walking around
moving on those box jumps, moving on those step overs.
Crazy.
Moving.
All because my iron was that low.
Yeah.
There was no oxygen flowing through.
Yeah.
I always think what if I could have a heart attack in there?
Yeah, your heart was working.
It was working so hard.
So hard. Everything was. Your cells were working so hard. Everything was just hindered.
Never thought about it.
It's probably caused a net positive adaptation, but whatever. Just nerding out.
I would walk the dog and I would kind of out of breath. But then I would just it's kind of warm outside. I do have a coat on.
You'd explain it away.
Yeah. Never put it together.
Mm-hmm.
My iron was critically
now what happens?
low.
What happens when you walk the dog now?
Nothing.
You just take off running?
I'm just walking. I'm just walking.
Let's go, Ted.
Keep walking. Keep walking. We had that workout Saturday, that running workout. And I was thinking, we were partnered up, and I was running with Ralph, and I'm like, this guy's breathing too hard right now. It's not even that big of a workout.
So you're iron low? What's wrong with you?
He called me, he's like, I need to check my CBC. I'm like, I mean, yeah, you could. Go ahead. I'm like, why are you breathing that hard? Coming from me. I'm like, hey.
Have you noticed any changes in like your mindset or your well-being or anything like that?
Like, what do you mean?
It's a harder thing to notice, I think, because we live through our brain, right? So it's like, am I happier than I was? Do I fall into it as many negative states as I used to?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is it easier to remember and think? Do I have a better time when I'm out? I mean, it's hard to notice those things, especially if you weren't paying attention to them before.
I will say, I feel like body-wise, like physically, like working out and eating better, I feel better overall. Like, in a sense, I'm happy that this did happen, because then I would never, like I would hate to be like 7 or 8 years down the line and they're like, yeah, you're pretty much cooked. Like, there's nothing, like, you can't revert or you can't fix it, or something far worse has happened.
Yeah, well, the autoimmune progression can continue to go to your thyroid and other places, for sure.
So I'm happy in a sense that it happened now. That way I can, like, get my mindset adapted to it. Like, okay, this is a big change. Like, let me figure this out now before I have kids or going down that line. So I will say I'm happy that it did happen. I'm not happy how it happened, but I'm happy that it did happen, because it made me more aware of, like, my body.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I did feel like some form of grief or loss, like with the gluten, like being attached to it, and just having to change our whole overall mindset of, like, man, I got to look at food differently now. Or
it's a lot of can't have.
Yeah. I got to be extremely careful with what I eat, or, like, who's cooking something. Or, like, for example, when we had the barbecue for Murph, I swear I asked Omar like 50 times, like, okay, what did you put in this pecan bar? And he's like, I swear it's just butter, sugar. And I'm like, are you sure? And then I go to Kay, I'm like, what did he put in the bar? like so that kind of in itself kind of takes a toll on me, but eventually it'll probably phase out.
Yeah.
So I did have a little bit of grief for that. I feel like overall I do feel better.
Yeah.
A little. Yeah, I will say more happier.
Yeah.
I'm happier that I can work out better and push myself.
Yeah, your experience working out is just better for sure.
Yeah. And I will say, letting go of eating the way that I was eating before, kind of like it let me go of, like, having, like, brain fog, or, like, because now I'm, like, more clear, like, and more sharp.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't know, it's just weird. You don't realize it until it's gone. You're like, oh, I kind of feel better today. Like,
it's just normal.
Yeah.
It's just normal.
You go back to eat something, you're like, dang, I noticed that didn't really agree with me. Like, I feel weird after that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you can see you have a contrast now.
Yeah.
You know, you remember what you used to feel like, and now the experience, especially when you eat something that affects you.
Yeah.
And your brain just goes.
Exactly.
Like
and I didn't even think that was even happening. But then, like, once I removed everything, I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm like so alert right now. I'm like,
yeah, totally, right?
Yeah, I'm like, I can keep going. I'm just going a mile a minute.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for that. But I will say it was sad the way that it had to go
went down.
Yeah.
You and gluten parted ways.
It was sad, rough. Man. I just needed that farewell tour.
It would have been helpful.
It would have been helpful. I would just, like, did the week of, like, Gluten Chronicles, like, just recording myself, like, here's day one. Like,
you could have vlogged it.
I could have vlogged that. I think it would have went well.
I think so too. Let's close it out. Is there anything you'd like to add
Okay, I would seriously like to add, if you are feeling weird or if something is feeling off, go to the doctors.
Yeah.
I swear, go get it checked out.
Go get it checked.
I wish I would have kind of got it checked out before.
Do you go to your gastrologist? Gastrologist?
Yeah.
Or your OBGYN? I don't know. I'm still confused on that.
So now...
That was funny. You just like rolled right over my joke. I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. She just like...
I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
So I go to my primary and then I'm set up with my GI. I guess I have to see him like every year or something.
Oh, yeah.
Every few months now. Like, weird. They got me set up with like a full dietitian and everything to like help me transition away from gluten. So I actually have an appointment with him this fall to double check.
But you're on the new path. You're getting it done.
I think I'm getting it done.
I mean, you go 90 days and Whole 30 without a hitch. That's impressive.
Okay, but that's kind of psychotic though. Like,
it's out there a little bit. It's definitely out there.
That was tough. I literally, Ralph was like, "You got to give it up."
Like, you were having a hard time stop.
Yeah, I was like, I'm so.
You don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm so far in. I'm like, how do I get off this train now?
Exactly. Yeah, you got to break that. Or I'm going to eat something that's not on the list.
Yes, and that's what it came down. I'm like staring at that huge chocolate bar. I'm like, Ralph's like, "Are you gonna do it?" I'm like, "I think I'm gonna do it."
Here we go.
I'm like, it's just. He's like, the chocolate didn't take you out.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I know. So.
Yeah, just don't reintroduce the gluten and you'll be fine.
No, I'm done with that.
Anything else, Mahi?
Yeah, just go get your
get
your vitals checked. And
yeah, why not?
Just
if you're feeling tired, you're breathing when you're walking the dog, going up the steps. Go get checked out.
Go get checked out.
What if there's an online test?
I don't know.
That'd be convenient.
Yeah, it would be.
Next episode, I'm going to talk about fascia, however you want to say it. I've been saying fascia, but it's fascia. It's crazy. I'm gonna blow your mind next episode on the fascia system. This is gonna be big in the next 3 to 5 years. It's gonna be everywhere. All right. What else we got? Help us grow. Do you know anybody who this episode could help? If you do, share it with them. Share it with them. Yes. It might turn their life around. Yeah. They could get their inflammatory levels down, get their head cleared out, lose the weight they've been trying to lose, get the fitness they've been trying to get. I mean, this is a ton of changes. This is such a net positive. It's unreal.
Yes, because even if you have some kind of autoimmune disease, it doesn't stop you. Like, you have to just keep going.
Yep. Just figure out a plan, put the plan together, and keep going forward. Yep, that's right. Build your life. Like and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. And as always, if you have any questions, you could email me at dennis.fenrich.com. I don't even know what it is now. dennis@dennisfenrich.com. I usually have it written down. I didn't write it down. Is that what it is?
Wait, maybe.
You think you got it somewhere?
Let's
you
see.
got it nowhere.
I probably don't have it anywhere.
Who would have that anywhere?
I don't know.
There's got to be an easier way.
Let me see. I was trying to help you out. Let me see.
dennis@dennisfenrich.com. I'm 95% sure that's what it is.
No, I don't have it.
Yeah, of course you don't. I don't need it.
But
who cares? You do if you care. You care. All right, guys, care about you. Glad you're out there. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for hearing my story.
It's a good story. All right, Mahi, thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I had a great time.
Good. All right, guys, we'll see ya. All right, bye.